Hi YouTube, please give me a moment while we go live on Facebook. We'll be getting started momentarily. And I think we should be live on Facebook. Hi everybody, and welcome to the Strategic Swing Trader Weekly Broadcast. I'm Sami Abasad, Director of Education at T3 Live. Welcome again, and thanks for tuning in. We're going to be going over the market. I'll be giving you my outlook for the next week. We'll also be going over the top swing ideas that I have selected for this week. But before we start, as always, a standard required disclaimer to let you know that trading is risky and that whatever we discuss in this video is for educational purposes only. If you'd like to download a copy of my free ebook, link for that is in the description of the video. Also, if you would like to get the complete list, I'm going to go over about a dozen bullish ideas, but I have a much more extensive list in the description. Feel free to copy and paste that. And lastly, if you find benefit in today's video, please be sure to hit the like button. And if you have any questions, email us, info@t3live.com. All right, let's get into the video. First, the market. We had the beautiful run up last couple weeks. And then what looked like was going to be the top. Okay, we had a big red bar gap up that just we actually gapped up, popped a little bit, and then sold off. And it felt like this was going to be the start of the pullback. And we did pull back for a couple days. And then on Friday, as you can see, we had a nice big green bar. So we created a pivot. Now, this is not a significant pivot. Okay, a pivot is when you have a higher low on either side of a candle. All right, a significant pivot is also a pivot that has a higher low on either side of the candle, but that makes a new high. That takes out the prior pivot high and closes above it. So we don't have a significant pivot, but we do have a pivot, and so I have to treat this as though we're going to go higher. So I'm bullish. I'm gonna be bullish unless this breaks. This is breached, and on the Qs, that number is 273.89. On the SPY, it would be 287.25. We would have to close below it, then it's a real break of the pivot. Then I would turn bearish. But barring a break of the pivot, okay, barring a break of that pivot, I'm going to be bullish for this week. All right, here's the swing ideas that I like for this week. We got ARR. Is it on a base breakout? So over the base, long, stop under it. The number would be over 618. The stop would be under 593. Okay, on the ARR. This list is sorted alphabetically. I am going to play a bunch of these, and if you'd like to know which ones exactly, well, check out the description to see how you can join. I have BHVN over the base. It's not exactly a base, it's like a pivot over 1880, stop under $16, and then target to infinity and beyond. Who knows? I don't have a target for it. BWV transitioning. Now it's triggered already on Thursday, but I think it's still okay over 147, I believe. So over 147, stop under 115, and then we'll have to manage on the way up. So maybe target 1, $2, and then target 2, maybe 250 or so. Okay, on the BWV. EQX, just as a disclaimer, I try to tell you when I remember, at least, whenever I have a position in a play, and I do have a position in the EQX, and it's gold, and all the other gold stocks look good too. There's a bunch of, I actually have a list of them. Let's see, where's that list? I don't have, where is it? Here's a list. Here's just a short list of gold stocks that I like. The OR, AEM, that's breaking out. Gold is a daily buy setup, and then IAA. I have the EQX personally, and it's an official play, open play in the newsletter. It triggered, I don't know, it triggered right here on this pop, but one can add to it over 245, but I would say over 250 to be sure that it's a real trigger. Nice weekly, so right here, long. if you want to use the big stop, then right here under 4, or the tight stop would be just under the daily bars low, which would be super, super tight, which I don't recommend for swing trading, by the way. Super tight stops because you can easily get stopped out. What a beautiful chart. Downtrend, then breaks down, the breakdown fails, goes sideways, breaks out, and then, you know, hopefully keeps going. And then weekly has plenty of room. It's the monthly that has not, doesn't have as much room, but weekly has room to $6 on the EQX. GROM has a daily transition A. Now, it's not the tightest base, but right here over the base, stop below it, and bare minimum would be the gap fill as target, but probably to $5 ultimately. Now, if it works, because sometimes they pop and they crash, like the TMLO, I think is the symbol. Is that right? TMLO? Nope. Let's see. You know, popped 50% or so last week, and I'll show it to you in just a second. So a lot of times these little stocks pop and then they drop. I like the ones when they pop really hard. I will always look to take half if they pop really hard. But if it's a slow, steady rally, then I just keep. Here it is, tmpo. Okay, so I had a very huge pop and had to trail out of half. Came back in hard. Hopefully goes back up, but we'll see. Let me just change the scaling real quick. Okay, there it is. HUN is a weekly 1, 2, 3. So actually it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I like it a lot. Over 31.60, stop under 29.84. So it's a big stop, but has plenty of room to move up. Basically, probably target 1 would be right here, and then target 2 would be up here. So a lot of room to go. KALV triggered on Friday, but I didn't see it. I wasn't aware of it, but I don't think it's too late either. So over 750, stop under 690, and then target has room to $10. So a lot of room. The KYMR is, I think it's a weekly breakout. Yeah, weekly is beautiful. So notice we have a weekly base breakout plus a doji, bottoming tail bar. So it's a 1, 2, 3. The only issue is the resistance over here. So we do have a bit of resistance, but otherwise it's a really nice chart. Over 35.60, it's 35.54, but I always give it a few pennies above the prior bar's high, stop under 31.54. Okay, and then target 1 would be, or target would be the prior high here. Looks like it's about 44.75. LKQ is off the daily chart. So it's a daily buy setup. It triggered on Friday, but I didn't find it until this weekend when I scanned, and I wouldn't have played it on Friday. I like it over 56, stop under 54.68, and target would be about $58. Okay, that's the LKQ. LU is Chinese. I like it if it can take out the prior pivot high, stop right here. One can also play it over Friday's high, but that's risky. So I like it over 286, stop under 248, and target 350 to 4. Okay, on the LU. NCTY, I believe is Chinese also. It's a weekly 1, 2, 3 pattern. So on the NCTY. So I like it higher over 161, over 162, let's just say. I think it's 160. Okay, 161. Stop under 121, so it's a 40-cent stop. And then target, who knows, somewhere up here in the $3.5 area. ORC, again, disclaimer, it's an open position, but a lot of my open positions I've added to 2-3 times, like Flex. I have 3 different positions in it. It started off here, then there, then on the buy setup. So 3 different positions. WB, 3 different positions, but I don't remember exact entry points. Here, probably there, and then on Friday over the base. So ORC already have a position in it, entered in on the breakout. It moved up a little bit and then based, and now has a 1, 2, 3 on the weekly. Now I think this is a real estate stock, I can of course look it up and to verify, but it doesn't matter. The point is, with real estate stocks, they don't move that much. So, just be mindful of that. Long over 12.15, stop under 11.80, and target has room to 16.30. Let's say $16. Plenty of room. SMG also already an open position. Looks lovely on the weekly chart. Looks beautiful. Played it over here long, and now I'm looking to add to it over 63. Stop under 57. Okay, it's a weekly transition A breakout. Looks beautiful. Love it. I don't love the ad because it'll still be into the prior high. I would have liked it more if we didn't have that prior pivot, meaning it was free and clear. But I love the weekly chart so much so that I'm willing to add to it, even though I already have a position that's up several dollars per share. TGTX already also have 2 positions in it, but I'm looking to add more. That's on the way up. If the stock looks good, I continue to pyramid, unless it's not a very liquid stock, then I stop. But there was one play on it here, then another play on it right there, as a weekly 1, 2, 3. See over here, over that red bar, and now a daily buy setup. So it triggered already on Friday, but not too late, over 12.40. Stop under 11.65 on the TGTX. Looking beautiful. WDH, long over the base, which is 340. Stop under 287. It's a Chinese stock. I was in the stock, but I got shaken out. I didn't get shaken out. This bar that you see right here looks like, it's just a nice green bar. It actually was. It moved up, crashed like crazy, and then moved back up. So I got out of it on the move back up, that bar. Again, looks like there was nothing much happened that day. It was crazy wild. So I got out of it when it moved back up because I missed the top. Eventually it went sideways, and now I like it over 340. Stop under 287. Okay. I have a few China stocks, actually a bunch of them, and here's what the ETF for them has done this year, the last few months. It more than tripled from under $20. That's the yen, which is the leveraged FXI, which is what I use. I have 1,000 shares of the yen, by the way, and so it's on fire. So anytime I see a good setup, it doesn't have to be a good setup, just a regular normal setup, but it's on a Chinese stock, I go for it because the whole sector has been on fire. Zim was in a short, actually got stopped out or trailed out last week, and now I would like to flip it long over 1860. Stop would be under $17. Target, plenty of room. It would just have to be managed on the way up. That's the Zim, and then that's gold. I think I didn't forget to delete it. From the gold stocks, I showed you 5 of them: the OR, the AEM, gold, IAA, and then EQX. And I like the EQX, so I didn't put the rest of them on the list. Here's the bearish ideas. I got CERS, daily sell setup, so it would be under 307. 307, stop 325. Target the prior lows. Looks beautiful, but not a lot of R to R, not a lot of reward to risk. ENPH. Now, ENPH has been the absolute leader in the solar sector. Okay, the absolute leader of the solar sector until recently. Something happened to it. I don't know what happened, because all the other solar stocks are way up at the prior highs, at the all-time high, and then ENPH is way off the highs, and it's just showing so much weakness. Compare the ENPH to the FSLR, for example. FSLR has a beautiful buy setup, by the way, long over that bar's high, 168.50 by 162.70. So again, a lot of the solar stocks are way up. ENPH is not. It has a 1, 2, 3. I saw that sell setup, but I thought it was too sloppy, and I passed on it last week on Wednesday when I scan every day after the close, and it worked, and now has a 1, 2, 3. So short under 219.80 by 227.90. KNOP triggered already on Friday, but didn't get it, and now I'd have to chase it a little bit under Friday's low, stop up here, so around $6. Looks lower, and then so check this out. KNOP and then KOPN happen to be on the same list. If you're dyslexic, this is gonna trigger it for you. KOPN short under 120, $1.20, stop over 128, and target would be about 105. Okay, not my favorite. NTLA flat 20 is the only issue with the NTLA, otherwise looks good. Short under 32.44 by 34.20, and then I think it's at all-time low. Oh no, it's not. So but has plenty of room to $20 is the next support area, so a lot of room. The flat 20 is the only problem, otherwise I like it a lot. And then YMAB, not ready yet, it's too strong, but it's trying to roll over, I think. At least it's trying to roll over. We have the PCRX also as an open position, and if it hadn't broken down already on Friday, I would have put it on the list, but it just broke down on Friday. It looked really good. It was an open position from like a week or two ago, a week ago. It triggered one of these days, probably this day. And again, if it wasn't already just a little bit late, I would have put it on the list, but it's really nice, PCRX. As you can see, the bearish list is nowhere near as good or as long as the bullish list, but such are the times. Right now we have a lot of bullish names. I have a lot of open positions, and I don't have a lot of open positions because I'm trying to diversify. No, I do is because whenever I see something bottoming, I just go for it. You see what I mean? So I have some major positions like Tesla and Meta, which looks good, but I got it over here 104, added at 126 on the breakout. Meta over 112, I think, is where I got it over the base. This base added to it. So I do have a bunch of positions. Sharp looks okay also, if you'd like. I think it's on the list in the description, but it wasn't one of the ones that I was going to go over because I didn't love it in it from that day. But so there's Netflix. I'm in, called it as an earnings play on Thursday, ended up gapping up. So some major names also look like they've bottomed. SIVB in it from that day, reported earnings, that's why it gapped on Friday. So this is the thing about the market, is Bitcoin appears to be bottoming or have bottomed. A lot of them big names I think have bottomed. So we saw Google pop. So it looks like this bottom that we're seeing in the market might be for real. Now, we don't need to believe anything or not believe anything. I just go with price action. I know that price action is bullish right now and the market looks higher. I'm going to be bullish. If the market trails out, breaks the pivot, then I'll be out of a lot of the long positions. Not the ones that I think bottomed long term. Like those I would give a lot of room to before I get out of, such as Tesla, Netflix, Meta, some of the SIVB, some of the ones that I'm holding core. SMG is also core for me. We got the BHC on Friday. I like that a lot, but that's not core. I can see myself getting out of it if need be. Adobe, got the Adobe a while ago, and then I added a little bit to it on Friday. So again, I don't get into all these positions because I'm trying to diversify. As somebody recently asked me, I do it because if something looks good, I'm going to get it. The TBLA on Friday triggered. ORIC triggered on Friday. I mean, just a lot of good plays. Twilio, but Twilio's not going. I don't know what's going on with it. I'm hoping it gets going soon. So we'll see. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed today's video. And again, if you have any questions for us, please email us, info@t3live.com. Check out the links in the description if you'd like to find out how to join. And then we have earnings season upon us. So there's going to be a lot of earnings plays, trying to predict stocks before they report, which way they're going to gap, like I did with Netflix, which I have 108 shares in. So that's the idea. It doesn't always work, but I do my best, and over time it's worked really beautifully for me, the strategy, the earnings strategy. All right, guys, have a nice rest of the weekend, and I'll speak to you on the next video. Thanks so much. Take care.